Hello, my name is Alyssa, so welcome to my channel, or welcome back. And in today's video, I just wanted to check in with you because there are some products that I am decluttering and some products that I am bringing in. So just wanted to let you know what's going on. So I don't bring in a ton of stuff, although I will say the first thing I'm talking about, I have been bringing in quite a few nail polishes, but I am trying to be, mindful of what I'm getting, and I am wearing them, and enjoying them. So it's not like I buy them and don't use them. Like, I use them immediately. These two nail polishes, I'm wearing them right now. I planned for it. I knew they were coming on the Monday. That was great because usually Mondays I change my nail polish because I'm doing like different certain activities and all that, like it tends to chip and all by then, or over the weekend it gets chipped and whatnot. So perfect timing. Took the nail polish off, put on the new stuff. I'm good to go. So the two that I brought in, there was a sale, and so I was, kind of looking through to see if there was anything I was interested in. And it was actually kind of cool though that I could go through and I had gone through all the nail polishes and I narrowed it down to two. I wasn't even narrowing it down, actually. There were only two that I was initially that caught my eye. Although I hadn't looked through everything, but that was like when I just did sort of a quick pass. I saw these two and I ended up only having one of those because I waited. The sale was ending at 9 o'clock my time at night, and it was like 8:30 or so that I went on to be like, all right, well, let's see, like, do I really want to make this purchase and all that? And I think they were both still there. I'm trying to remember. In the process of checkout though, one of them went sold out, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to pay that much shipping just for one nail polish. Like, was there anything else? And I think I had actually added in like a few others. Then there was one that I wasn't sure about. I went and did a little Instagram research, if you will, with that shade. I realized I did not want that nail polish. I came back. There was another one that was now out of stock, and it was every time I'd find a shade, then it would go out of stock, or it was out of stock and I didn't realize, so it's like, okay. So the first one that I could get that had still stuck around is this thermal one, and it's from Colores de Caro. I'm not sure if you're supposed to pronounce it in like a French kind of way. I don't know. But this is Love is a Mystery. And what got me excited is I already have a thermal that changes to a lavender color from like a light blue, but this one goes between pink and purple, which are two of my favorite colors to wear for eyeshadow, nail polish, like both that. And so I'm like, wait, I don't even care if when the thermal eventually stops working, if it gets stuck in one or the other, or a mix somehow, because those are great. So right now you can, I don't know, maybe I'll try to include other footage, but like right now, you can see the purple, which is what it looks like in the bottle, is in the cold state. So some of my fingers are cold. I only did it every other. And then, some are more of a pink because those nails are warmer. So it's been really fun. And this was, like I said, I just put it on last night and it's been great. The other one that I got is what's on the other nails. And this one, I already had a different nail polish from this brand, Emily DeMolly. And so this one is The Same Dream. So there was a different one from this brand, I believe it was from this brand, that I had my eye on. But to be kind of honest, after it's like, all right, I can't get that one, fine. I was still curious about it, and I went onto the brand's website, and I think it was on there, like sold out, but they had it on there, and they had different pictures. And in looking at those pictures, I realized I don't know if I would have liked it as much as this one. It was, because it's when there's shifty kinds of color things, it's like, well, just because you can see some colors doesn't mean it's always going to be that way, like what's the main way that I'm going to see it? And I think the main way I was going to see it was maybe not my, perfect kind of, like, it wasn't as exciting. So I was not as heartbroken, over the nail polish as I thought. So this one is kind of this, sometimes it looks more purple, other times it's a little bit more of a gray for the base. And then it's got this like lime glowing green, yellow, like, I don't know, kind of shift to it, like on top, like a little shimmer. Whatever it is, it's very pretty. It was actually opaque, I would say, in the first coat, but I did do a second one just, to make sure. For the thermal, what's funny is I had just heard recently that thermals, a lot of times you need to do more coats because of coverage, which is not the case with the other ones I have, I feel like. They're more like, well, one is more of a jelly, so I do 2 for that anyway, but, whatever. The other one is a cream finish, and that one I can just do 1 and maybe like the second one like is needed, but it's not super important. So, but this one I did do 3 coats, and I do feel like that was a good call because it is more of a jelly type of finish. But I want to try, that also actually makes me more excited because I want to try doing like a jelly sandwich thing, like, putting some sort of glitter with this then on top, and see, kind of sandwiching that in and see what I think, because I think I could, get some fun looks like that. So anyway, I just threw out, before ordering these, a different purple polish. I actually haven't had it that long. I have other polishes, well, some that are like way older, but then other ones that are just, maybe a year or more older than it. And it got thick pretty quickly and goopy, and I've tried using nail polish thinner, and I've done it multiple times, and it's just not awesome. And the color is fine. I actually, it's like I like it, but because it's kind of tricky, and it was always a little bit tricky, I feel like, to apply, so that kind of makes it not my favorite, and it dries to like kind of a matte finish, which is all right, but it looks like it's going to be more shimmery in the bottle than it is, even if you put the glossy top coat on. So yeah, it's, I'm like, what, I'm just done. Like, I can't use this properly. And so the purple, maybe I can include a picture. The cold version of this is very similar to how that one was. And so I like that. It's like, well, you know what? I think, this one is already way more enjoyable to use. So, I'll have to see it. For now, that's the nail polish situation, which I feel like I blabbed a lot. So maybe I'll cut some of this out, but it's fine. Other part of my makeup and beauty collection that I've been sort of side-eyeing, there aren't any other nail polishes that I want to declutter at this time. I mean, there might be some, so, we'll see, but that was the biggest offender. I was thinking about this one pink eyeshadow in particular, and then also another shadow, and then a couple more came up. So there are 4 shadows that, some people say declutter. I think of it as retiring. I'm not throwing these out at this time. They're basically just going in a drawer. And then they will probably get thrown out when I feel up for that. But right now it's just sort of, I don't have plans to use them on my face. So, or on me. I might swatch them, I guess, for things, but yeah. So the first one is from Sydney Grace, Maids and Milking, and I did a video where I was swatching like different colors, and also this was definitely in there, and that was what made me think of this idea of retiring it. And I'm not sure when that video is going up though, so you might see this first. But yeah, and basically I don't know if this was ever super shiny. I can't remember because it is getting old. I think I got it in the summer of 2020. I might be wrong, but I feel like it was around then. Might have been 2021. Either way, it's still a few years old. And it's just, I can't see myself wanting to wear this, because if I want a pink, blue, shifty type of shade like this, I want it to be more shiny. And I have Haley's Comet right now that does that. So Yeah, and I also have another shade from the Dots palette, the C'est La Vie. That one, there's also a pink that has a blue shift, and it's just, again, much more sparkly. So this would not be an eyeshadow that I would want to use, so why am I keeping it as, you know, part of my collection? And then similarly, this is actually even older. This was a free gift with purchase from Tarte. It's probably, I didn't buy from Tarte. It was from like Ulta, I think, as like a free gift, but it was all like Tarte products. So yeah, this, I don't know, 6, 7 years old maybe. It actually still works okay and like looks okay. It's never been my cup of tea. It's just sort of this basic kind of dirty gold shade, and I have other versions of this if I want to use something like this, and I like them better. They're either brighter or lighter or more sparkly, you know, things like that. So, you know, it's just not an eyeshadow that I want to focus on. I mean, these are ones that I hit pan on, so it's not like I'm just getting rid of them without having had a lot of use on them. The last two shades that I am going to retire at this time are both from ColourPop. So one is Lost and Found, and one is Team Captain. And these are just shades that I got because people, you know, had talked about them being good shades to bring in. And, you know, I had to force myself basically to hit pan in them and get them to this point. They just aren't my types of colors. I have gotten myself better at wearing green and blue, but these are not the green and blue that I want to wear. This one is just, it's like almost not green enough. It has a little too much gray to it. And the blue, I don't know, there's just something about it. It's just not quite right. If I mix it with something else, but I have other blues that I like more, so I'd rather just use them. And now I have more that are magnetic and things like that. Because before it's like, well, but this is magnetic, so I can, you know, use it in little build your own palettes, but I don't need that now. So I am going to retire all these. Like I said, they all have pan on them. So that makes me feel, you know, better that I've definitely gotten whatever money's worth out of them. I swear English is my first language. But yeah, so we're retiring these 4 eyeshadows, and I already got rid of the nail polish. Did bring in 2 more nail polishes, but there's still room in my box, so I figure it's okay. And that is what I have. So this was a little more chatty than I thought it would be, but hopefully it was interesting for you. I want to thank you for watching, and until my next video, I hope that you'll be doing well, and I'll see you then. Bye!